Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John R. and I'm your instructor. Today I'm going to show you how to make 3 beautiful holiday ornament shapes. We're going to make a beautiful heart, a welcoming pineapple, and a dimensional star. Now these are made from both aluminum and copper foil. Now the copper has been patinated with a chemical patina to turn it blue or verdigris. And we've used alcohol inks on the aluminum and also on the copper. Now the patinization and the colorization with the alcohol inks are going to be shown to you in 2 subsequent videos. And in 3 previous videos we showed you how to make this holiday star, this holiday flower or snowflake, and this holiday icicle. So check our website under the form-folded copper area to find these videos. Now let me clear some space and I'll show you how to make the new ornaments. Okay, I've laid out all the tools and supplies that you're going to need for these ornaments. Starting over here, we have a embossing stick. Now this is like a cuticle stick that you might use on your nails. I have an Exacto knife. I have an awl with a handle on it, a utility knife, a metal ruler. I also have pieces of illustration board or flat pieces of cardboard, a Sharpie pen. I've got binding wire and some thin copper wire. I also have a pair of scissors, a pair of diagonal cutters, and a pair of round nose pliers. Now over here what I have is some clear lay plastic film. And what this is it's just a very, very thin piece of film that you might use for an overhead projector, but we're going to cut templates from this. And I also have my metal foil. Now this is something that you can purchase online from K&S Engineering. It's a crafting foil, and I have copper and aluminum. And those of you that like a metal that's more yellow, you can buy the brass as well if you like. And last I've got my cutting surface. Now this is a self-healing cutting board, and if you don't have one of these, you might want to purchase one. They will last you for years and it will protect your table surfaces. I'm also going to wear a pair of safety glasses. Remember, you want to protect your eyes. I don't plan on anything flying up or poking me in the eye, but you never know. So protect your eyes and put on your safety glasses. Okay, now the first step in planning an ornament is to make a pattern. Now what I tend to do is I usually take a piece of paper, and in this case I used graph paper, and I laid out what my ornament shapes would look like. Now the pattern is important because you need to determine the proper size of the ornament. You have to decide if you're going to use the ornaments on packages or in a wreath or on your tree. So the scale of the ornament would be variable depending on where it's going to be used. Now what I did is I took a piece of graph paper and I folded it in half and I drew half of my ornament. Then I held it up to the window, turned the paper over, and I drew the other side of the ornament so that when I opened the pattern up, I got a perfectly symmetrical pattern. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of the clear plastic overlay film and put it over your pattern. Now the reason why we're using the overlay film is because this is going to become a template so that you can create many of these ornaments, because you may want to give them as gifts. Alright, so we're going to put this over the pattern, and we would put this on top of the cutting board surface so that we're not going to mar the tabletop surface that we're working with, because you're going to use your Exacto blade to cut this out. Now, once you have your pattern cut from the plastic overlay material, you'll end up with something that kind of looks like this. Now, it's a little hard to see, so I'm holding up the metal so you can see it a little bit better. It's a star pattern. Now, you can lay the material down, and you could either tape it or just weight it, and you'll take your Sharpie pen again, and you're just going to use your template to help you trace the pattern that you developed in the paper. Okay, I'm going to speed ahead a little bit because I've already traced this on the other side. So there's my star pattern. So now let me show you how to cut it. The best way to cut this is to cut towards the points where they intersect near the interior of the star. So I'll just start at this point, and I'll just start cutting, and I'll stop right at that point, and I can make it nice and clean by just following the tracing and cutting to that point. Now sometimes it may not come off. All you need to do is give it a gentle tug and it should come right off. So you'll cut all the way around the star to relieve it from the larger sheet. And guess what? I've already finished cutting one. Now, I mentioned in the tools section that you needed pieces of flat cardboard or a mat board or illustration board. And what you want to do is cut a little tiny circle from the center of this board. In this case, I used about a 1/2 inch template to cut this circle. Now what I want to do is I want to take my embossing tool or the cuticle stick, and I'm going to find approximately the center of my star and just give it a little poke. So I now have just a little tiny dimple right in the middle. And what I could do is I can then turn my star over and look, and I can look through the center and see that dimple to say that, okay, I've got that circle perfectly centered. Then I come back, and I'm just going to use my finger and lightly push in, and I start to create that little center dome. Now you can take the end of the stick that's smooth, and if you want to, just go around the edges a little bit, and what you're going to do is just sharpen up that circle, and you can actually go down a little deeper and smooth out that dimple if you like, and you can really make that a nice domed shape. You don't really need anything fancy to do this with. Okay, once that's done, I want to turn the star over, and I'm going to take my metal ruler, and what I'll do is at these angles that point towards the center, I'm going to line up the edge of the ruler with the center of the star and that point, and I'm just going to trace a line. And I want to do this all the way around on each of the rays of the stars, and you can see that it's already giving it a lot of definition. And what these really do is they serve as a means for helping you to fold your star to give it greater dimension. Okay, I've got one more to go. And there it is. Okay, so we now have 6 little lines that are in between the rays of the star, and they were applied to the top surface. Now you want to turn the star over, put the dimple back into the hole, and then take your ruler, and what you want to do is get it so that the rays are on this softer surface, and I'm going to hold my ruler so that I can draw a line that goes from point to point, and I'm not going to draw in this dimpled area, but it would pass through the center of the star. Now if you want to make this a little more decorative, what you could do is you could just push and make little dots, just like that, all the way across. It takes a little bit more time, but it makes it a little bit prettier if you do that. But if you're making hundreds, say for a church bazaar, you could just draw the line. So let's speed this up, and I'll just draw a line for now, just so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to go through each of these rays, through their center. Okay, so now we have all of the rays augmented with a center crease and lines on either side. All you need to do now is just gently with your fingers just start to bend the rays up, like so. Just go around really slowly And just give it all just a little push with your fingertips. The material's super soft. And notice I'm not wearing gloves because it's not really that sharp on the edges. I'm sure you could cut yourself if you were careless, but anyway, once you get these rays bent upwards, you can then start to push them against a flat surface and come back. And if you want to, you can even use your tool to help to define these rays a little bit better. And that's how you get the shape of the star. Now, if you want to augment it with a hanging hook, what I suggest is turn the star back over, take your awl, push through the tip of one of the rays, and just give it a little bit of pressure so that you're poking a hole through. Then you could take a piece of binding wire, probably about a 3-inch length is sufficient. And if you want to be really precise, you can use your round nose pliers and give one end a little twist. And then just push that end through the point that you, or the hole that you made in one of the points. Here it is. There we go. And then all I need to do is just give it a gentle push over my finger, and now I have a nice hook to hang the star from my tree, or from a wreath, or a package. Now, let me show you some of the other things that you need to note in order to make the pineapple and the heart. Now, the part has its own little template as well. And as you can see, I've already cut out one of the hearts, and I helped myself by already tracing around one to find the center of this little template to help me emboss the pushed or domed heart. So I just have to put my heart right there, use my fingers a little bit, and voila! You can already see the heart appear. And you just use the end of your smoothing stick, and you can get crisper edges on the heart. And if you want to, you can do the center. And you'll take a little more time than I am to make sure that everything's smoothed out. But you can see that quickly pushes out the heart. Actually, that looks pretty nice with the pattern going back and forth. Now, just like the star, what I want to do is I could take my ruler if I wanted to, and I could just make some lines, or I could actually do dots. In this case, maybe I might want to do the dots in between the lines in order to give a little bit more decoration or ornamentation around the heart. Now, the pineapple is kind of fun. I didn't make any sort of template or board for the pineapple. Well, what I really need to do is I'm just going to take any kind of a soft surface, and if you wanted to, you could even take the back side of a drawing tablet. This is the same type of cardboard, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this around so I can see it better. I take my ruler, and what I'm going to do is put it at an angle on the pineapple and then just trace a line. Now I just want to do the same angle repeatedly and space it out a little bit and keep making them parallel, one next to another. So I need to come back up here. Maybe I'll turn it around because it's easier for me to see it that way. Now I don't want to take these lines up into the frond section of the ornament. That's this top area here. I just want these lines to go into what would be the fruit area of the pineapple. Okay, so now that I have lines going in one direction, I just want to take my ruler and go at an angle and start making lines in the opposite direction. And pretty quickly what you'll begin to see is that you're developing a nice little diamond pattern on the surface of your pineapple that sort of imitates the way that the fruit naturally grows. So let me do this. See how easy that is? It's super fast, and it's really effective in creating the illusion of the pineapple fruit. Now if you want to, you can augment this section of the ornament with a utility knife. So I have a little utility knife here, and what you can do is in any complete diamond shape you could cut a V that points up towards the fronds, just like that I did right there. Now you could cover the whole surface, and then when you're done, just take your awl and you can give them a little push out. And that sort of creates that little sharp end that appears on all the little areas of the pineapple. To finish this one up, all I need to do is just trace the outside of the fronds. And in this case, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to go with a center line down each of the fronds on the opposite side. And there I have my pineapple. Now in the next two subsequent videos, I'm going to show you how to apply alcohol inks or a chemical patina in order to patinate the copper. So that will turn the copper a nice verdigris green or blue, and with the alcohol inks we can get all kinds of fancy colors. So stay tuned and check out our other videos and products on the onlinejewelryacademy.com. Thanks for watching.